So we have here our first live look
Ta-da.
at the game. So this is as you said, this is a build that they've seen this battle before.
Yep.
It's maybe the last time they see the battle, but they've seen this battle before. They've seen this map before, but never the full thing with deployment and everything we're going to be running through.
Yeah.
It's top to bottom.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of your very familiar stuff here. Obviously, deployment is there. Deployment is part of Total War.
Yeah.
But again, in terms of the style of the map and the kind of map that it is, it's not miles away from the sort of map that we've had in previous Total War titles. We do have a big spectrum of different kinds of maps, of course. Like we're going to have more dense maps. We're going to have more sparse maps. This one sits on the sort of more sparse side of things, but it's not the completely flat. I want to say tournament style map, necessarily. But it's got some interest in it. But it is a good sort of
it's a good middle ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Presents a few different things.
Exactly.
Presents some denser areas, some open areas. So it's a pretty good show map.
We should check out that lovely sunset because it is.
There we go.
that is beautiful. It's
and
grim
look
dark.
at that cannon.
Yeah, I can hear everyone going yapping. But it's lovely. Take it in, isn't it lovely?
People
Look, and a huge amount of work is going into making sure that we capture the feeling, the grim dark, the scale, everything. So massive kudos to the art team for pulling off something that looks this wonderful.
Someone called me up very accurately of where's the closed beta sign up. That's on the clips that we'll show later, but you're welcome to Google it and find it yourself before that QR code comes up. So we'll talk about just a couple of things here before we actually jump into the battle, because some of this UI is brand new, right? So we want to make sure people understand exactly what they're seeing there. So should we start with reserves?
Yeah,
let's go for it.
Will, do you want to click there? There you go.
Ta-da! So massive disclaimer again. Like the actual that panel itself. As of very recently, completely changed. It is still a panel, but we have strategic reserves. So a big part of this game is basically teeing up the forces that you're going to bring into the battle from your campaign, and having them come in their various different ways. So you may have some opportunity to sort of shuffle some units around during deployment, like what do you want to have your starting army as. But then there will be more restrictions as well. Let's say you're playing Space Marines and you have a fleet in orbit. You'll have some people racked up on that fleet that you won't necessarily be able to start the battle with, but you can join the battle with them throughout using the strategic reserves panel, bringing them in via very violent and upsetting ways such as drop pods. We don't have sorry, Pedro.
I was going to say, like, you'll have to consider at deployment whether you want to bring your full force in or if you want to keep some stuff in reserves so that they can fly in on Thunderhawks later to surprise the enemy.
But we're playing the guard.
We are.
And the Astra Militarum, they do have Valkyries.
They hoof it. Yep.
Yeah, but we tend not to send them down via drop pod because they are human, they are squishy, and they wouldn't survive that kind of impact. So the guard's playstyle is much more about bringing reserves up the field to sort of meet the enemy and hold the line effectively.
Yep.
So which a bit more like classical Total War reinforcements.
Yeah, with more control over who and when and where, basically.
Then there's two other things we'll touch on before we get to battle. Actually, do you know what? People seem pretty interested in what we're saying rather than having a go at me for not telling Will to press start battle. So there's two rows of icons above the mini-map there. What are they?
Oh, they're different things for starters.
They are.
So we have the bombardments that you're going to bring into the battle, and again, all work in progress UI. But the explosive, powerful ordnance that you have from off field, or again from your fleet, that again, due to your campaign situation, you will have teed up before this battle. So let's say, in this case, actually, we have our Death Strike Godspear warhead, which is that is coming from off field, right? That is an artillery piece sat off field, ready to get involved. We've done it in our campaign, but we do have a fleet in orbit as well. We have our Lance Strike, and we have
we have some Valkyries at the ready.
Yep, ready to drop in some missiles. So we've got a bunch of different bombardments that we can drop in, and then we have our army abilities, or in this case,
the orders.
Yeah,
regimental orders. So the Astra Militarum has this mechanic where you can enact orders that will spread to units that are within range of Voxcaster. So their playstyle is making sure that you have all of your units close enough to a command unit that can then issue these orders, which will give them different buffs that you will use to manage your situation in the field to adapt to what you need.
Yep.
Very similar, inspired by their tabletop mechanics, right?
Of course, yeah, and again, just how the guards should operate, right? Again, like coming from the lore, like they are waiting for their orders. They are the human wall. Yes. So part of that playstyle with the guard that we'll hopefully see if Will's Will does his does the best he can.
I'm
Is presenting that strong front and meeting the enemy in the open and then crashing against them and reinforcing. So we'll see how that goes.
Fantastic. Well then, we got a lot else to talk about, but I think we can start the battle and start touching on some of it as Will battles the orcs.
Let's go.
Okay, go on then. So one thing to point out is the Cassicans were not in the deployment zone.
No.
So they had forward deployment.
Yeah,
vanguard
forward
deployment.
scouts. Yeah, well, classically Vanguard deployment, but forward scouts. Yeah, so they are able to deploy from the front, obviously with some limitation, and scout out the battlefield for you and have better vision, better visibility. Visibility now being a big deal for the war.
It's a big deal, yes.
Yep. So you can see, we visualize now where things are. We have a fog of war.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it is actually in this build though.
It's
so
not the visuals. The visuals that are
Yeah.
not engaged, but the mechanics are. Like this is why we cannot see the orcs at the moment.
Right.
But Fog of War has a pretty big impact in this game, especially because we're playing in sometimes very dense maps. Buildings, other obstructions will block your Fog of War. So part of the strategy might be to destroy sightlines to be able to see where the enemy are coming from.
And we see one of them approaching right now.
Yeah, it's a very eager battle wagon who's
brave.
currently being very brave and being a little bit suicidal to drive.
Oh, I
towards
mean,
us.
yeah, I didn't
But,
see what he was going up against.
No, that's what he's met a Baneblade. At this point, he's probably made the decision that it's worth just going in and going ham. And he's gone. So he's done the best he can, and he smashed over some cover,
Yes.
which is probably worth talking about a little bit.
Will moved some people into cover here on this left ruin.
Yeah. And you can see that they'll filter into positions, basically. So we really wanted to keep it as close to the standard control as possible. So this is just part of the drag out. When you're dragging out a unit over a cover zone, they will populate the positions within there. Oh no! Oh no!
And that's what you do if you don't want the opponent to get cover.
It's all good. A bombardment's coming in, so this is all going to get a little bit messy. That Baneblade's trying to contribute though. Which is going to be a rough time for our poor guardsmen. So what this gives us a nice opportunity to talk about is the destruction of cover and how that works too. So we have cover zones. They are pre-established within the map, and it's a combination of the simulation of the actual projectiles being fired and hitting those cover pieces. Those can be destroyed, but within those cover zones as well, we are doing a few things to sort of keep it established.
Yep.
So we have a concept of evasion, and as long as you're within a cover zone, you're slightly harder to hit. The enemy is more likely to miss you. And what gets destroyed does leave behind a little bit of detritus, as you can see. So basically, there's always a little bit of effect there. What we didn't really want is for players to have to sort of constantly think about, is there cover there? Isn't there cover there?
Yep.
Did it move? Did it get fully destroyed? So there is an impact. There is a simulated impact. It will become slightly less effective, but it still holds on to some of its teeth.
Yep.
Which is we're finding to play really nicely.
Yep.
But this is the point of coming to closed beta, right? Is to start to really actually fence this with everyone that is going to spend, I hope, a great deal of time like we are playing this game and enjoying it, and figuring out where to take it and how to sort of really dial into the guts of it.
Yeah.
It's gone really well on that left flank, hasn't it?
They've thrown everything at him.
So
Maybe some reinforcements at the
Here
back
comes
for
the
a second
kitchen
wave.
sink.
Yeah, maybe get the Baneblade involved, but no, the cover zones. Most of the areas in this map that you see that have tons of cover pieces have sandbags, like look fortified. These are the proper cover zones that'll give you both the simulated impact and the buff. But staying behind positions of cover can also exist in some other contexts. For example, if you bring in a very, very large bombardment, it will make a crater. This crater will allow you to dock some units to it to have the simulated benefit of being behind something that cannot be shot at. But in those cases, you won't get the buff because this is not a fortified zone. It's not prepared for cover. It'll give you some advantage, but not quite the same advantage as these areas of the map that are specific for it.
So you get some benefit out of it, and there is some really fun sort of like emergent gameplay that can come out of, are we about to drop the bomb?
Oh,
Okay, all right, all silence for the bomb. Here comes the death strike. So this is lovely. I love this. So yeah, you can see it's left behind like that crater there. Obviously that's a massive one. You'll probably get more effect out of the smaller ones that pepper things, and you have different bombardments with different sorts of cadence of explosion that will create different sizes of crater and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Squad's on their way.
Super fun. How's it? It's
How's the other flanks
we need
going?
the second front. We need the second front. Do you think it's worth talking about projectiles in
Yeah.
some?
One thing.
Yeah.
If you
cool.
look back at that tank, one thing that tank's doing it's trying to do.
Oh, it's trying to get out
It's-
of range. It's firing.
It's still flaming them, and you can see some las cannons going off.
I think that's a
there.
melter going off, but yeah,
Oh, there you go,
he is strafing. Yeah, he's
He is
strafing. So yeah, we've
Moving
introduced strafing. It's a modified movement basically. For your mouse and keys, you can hold down Alt as you drag out. You can just move in that direction. It's not limited to vehicles. We want everyone to have this potential to strafe, but with different proficiency.
Yeah.
Let's say that. So. Infantry can strafe, everyone can strafe, but we want to make sure that the different sort of asymmetry and skills of the units are represented. So guardsmen, etc., they'll be able to move backwards slowly whilst firing. Orcs can do it if you're that organised and really want to be backing away. It's not the playstyle you want to go for with orcs necessarily, but when it really shines is where you get your powerhouses like Space Marines who are so powerful and super accurate.
Don't lose any accuracy by doing it.
Exactly right. So there are negatives to strafing, but what it allows you to do is you like move sideways, move backwards, and really reinforce your positional gameplay. Because I think a really big part of what makes Total War so crunchy and fun is the positional gameplay. Like, oh no, little craters and lots of limbs.
That's always been our objective. So we're building a game in the 41st millennium, and we want to bring all the good Warhammer goodness, but we still want this to feel like a proper Total War game.
Yeah.
So Total War is a lot about positioning and moving your troops in the right place and attacking the enemy from the right angles. So we still want to drive gameplay primarily through that.
Absolutely. I guess we'll talk more about like how the combat paradigm works later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that positional gameplay is super important, right? So things we'll talk about it later. But yeah, the suppression, flanking, etc. At range is all really important to take down your opponent and make sure you are enfilading, getting around them, encircling them, and bringing them down. Alongside using cover. Mm-hmm. We need more stuff.
We need more men.
Send in more men.
Send in more men. Something I can't remember if you touched on this when we were talking about reserves themselves, but where are these reserves coming from? If you're on a campaign map.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So this will be your surrounding armies, and people that are up on your people, might not be people, Xenos as well. Those that are on your fleets. Yep. So basically, surrounding armies can get involved in these battles. Obviously, yeah, there is a total limit of armies that will be able to get involved in a conflict. But yeah, you can bring in in some cases up to 40 onto the battlefield, and you'll be able to get involved. Might be quite difficult to get up to 40 Space Marine units in one place.
Yeah.
Right. But that is definitely not hard to do with guard.
Yeah.
So
that is the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, a little detail about the reserves as well that might be worth noticing is at the top, the balance of power bar. You might notice that it has a little divot and another section that basically indicates how many units are in the field and how many units are still to come in. So you can see that still have a little bit of units to come in from the Esther Mill, and the development in progress is kind of hiding the orc bar, but I believe they have deployed everything at this point, so no more surprises from the orcs.
Yeah, we've got a little bit more in the cannon, although they do have a stomper.
Honestly,
they've got a
stomper
stomper
as well.
This
and
is rough.
He's a scary guy.
Maybe we'll make
scary,
it.
Scary
Maybe
guy.
we'll make it.
We really wanted to put the biggest thing that we could get away with in a Total War game. We're looking at putting bigger things in later down the line, of course. But yeah, this will be the biggest thing we've had in a Total War. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
You're going to need that low health Baneblade, Will. That's going to have to shoot that
Don't
stomper.
let him die.
Yeah, you will.
Get around him. Awesome.
So you can see here, as we kind of predicted, right? He's got a second wave of the guards.
Yep.
So the first took out what they could, but that's just a huge number of orcs that have just managed to smash through.
Yep.
So now it's up to that second wave who, looking, I guess, at the corpses of all of the ones who failed before them, having their own go at holding the line.
Yeah, but thankfully there's also some cover positions at the back of the map, so now this is where we're trying to make our last stand.
Yeah.
And we're going to hit the panic button.
Yeah, this is the
panic
ripcord. So, calling from the fleet, we're going to have our lance strike. This is a hyper powerful, very AP centric weapon. You're not going to be able to use this sort of thing often. It is a really wow. Okay, he's still
almost.
up. He's still up. We got to pop them. So. There we go. He's probably on his way out. He's starting to pop.
There he goes.
We go.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Oh, you're out of the other ones.
Boom.